Good evening, Tiger Sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of Tiger Sports Nation. I'm Jude Hunter.
And I'm Joey Webster. Before we get to this week's athletic events, be sure to give D3 TV a follow on all our social media accounts and give us a like and your thoughts of the video in the comments below.
We start things off with the DePauw baseball team, who had a busy week of competition with 5 games. DePauw hit the road early this week to take on Division I Butler in Indianapolis, but were defeated by the Bulldogs with a score of 16-4. Junior Kyle Callahan would lead the Tigers with 2 of DePauw's 7 hits, but DePauw's 4-game win streak would eventually come to an end due to a strong showing by the Division I Bulldogs.
The Tigers faced off against Concordia Chicago next with 2 doubleheaders on Saturday and Sunday. They went 3-1 overall against the Cougars to win the series with wins of 4-2, 12-11, and 15-13, while dropping one of their games 9-6. Concordia would win the opener on Sunday, however the Tigers were able to seal the series victory after a strong comeback after trailing 9-1 in late in the game on Sunday. DePauw moved to 7-3 overall by the end of the week, with their eyes on Wash U next week as the Tigers take on another doubleheader.
After a big win to kick off their season, the men's lacrosse team struggled this week with losses to Transylvania and Elmhurst. The Tigers found themselves in a very close match over visiting Transylvania heading into the second half, but the Pioneers managed to cap off an impressive run by scoring 11 of the game's final 12 goals to come out with the victory. DePauw found themselves in a similar situation at Elmhurst in the next game, as the Blue Jays scored 4 straight and 8 of the next 9 after a strong start to cap off the 18-8 win over the Tigers. DePauw now holds a 1-3 record overall and hope to bounce back as they open up conference play at Wabash on April 1st.
The women's lacrosse team went 1-0 this week as they defeated Carthage 15-14 in a nail-biter in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Leading the team with 5 goals apiece was Grace Clark and Emma Kennedy, as the Tigers put up 8 goals in the first half, followed by 7 in the second. This win moved the Tigers' record to 1-2 overall as they look to get back to 500 this Friday, visiting Transylvania.
Men's golf finished 6th out of the 13 teams this weekend at the Milliken's Big Blue Spring Opener in Decatur, Illinois. Webster University would go on to win the tournament with a low score of 589, while DePauw finished with a 627 overall. DePauw's own Jacob Kelber finished 8th out of the 65 participants, followed by Grant Germano and Kinder Jones in a tie for 28th. DePauw travels to Denison this Thursday, March 18th for another match. DePauw women's golf also traveled to Decatur this past week to compete in the Milliken Decker Classic. The 18th ranked Tigers would finish 3rd among 11 schools competing. DePauw shot a 668 with a 330 on the first day and a 338 on the second, while Carthage won the tournament with a total score of 652. DePauw's Paige Sanfilippo turned in the 3rd place finish, followed by Sydney Weiner at 10th and Kathleen Amos at 13th. The Tigers return to action this Friday, March 19th at Denison.
Before we get into the men's soccer team, please enjoy this commercial from WGRE.
Tune in to 91.5 WGRE, your sound alternative.
Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. The men's soccer team took down rival Wabash at home this week as the Tigers now move to 2-0 on the season. Freshman Sam Thiel earned his first goal as a Tiger, and DePauw stayed strong in the second half to hold on to their lead despite strong efforts by the Little Giants. The second half of the match, Wabash would outshoot the Tigers 6-1. However, efforts by both Ryan Kupiak and goalie Colin Davidson proved too strong for Wabash to tie the game. The Tigers have their eyes on 3 straight as they travel to Indianapolis this Saturday to take on Marian University.
The women's soccer team recorded their second tie of the season after going scoreless against Indiana University East this past weekend. The Tigers and Red Wolves combined for a total of 19 shots taken. However, neither team was able to find the net. This moved DePauw's record to 0-0-2, while the Tigers hope to pick up their first win at home against Marian next.
DePauw volleyball came up short in their match at Illinois College this week as the Tigers lost in 5 sets after initially being down 2-0. After wins in the 3rd and 4th sets, the Lady Blues would finish set 5 with 12 kills and just 1 error, winning the final set 18-16. The Tigers will look to bounce back on Saturday during a 2 p.m. showdown versus Ohio Wesleyan.
Finally, DePauw football dominated Wooster this week in a 37-3 win over the Fighting Scots. DePauw totaled 449 yards of offense and held Wooster to just 210, while DePauw enjoyed great performances from both their offense and defense. The Tigers jumped out to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter and would go into a half up 20-0. Quarterback Chase Andres went 17 of 26 passes and with 175 yards and 2 touchdowns to go along with 41 yards rushing, while Will Schmidt would lead the Tigers in rushing with 97 yards on 20 carries. Josh Major would also lead the Tigers in receiving with 5 receptions for 70 yards. Nathan Seffer led DePauw's defense with 7 tackles, while seniors Dylan Hyatt and Ben Higgins would each add 1 interception. DePauw wraps up their season this Saturday with a home game against Greenville, and the Tigers look to go off on a high note at the end of their uniquely shortened season.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Tiger Sports Nation. Thank you so much to everybody for watching, and remember to leave a like as well as your comments of the video below. I'm Joey Webster.
And I'm Jude Hunter, and as always,
Roll Tigs.